going to show you how to do a lettuce hem. So you want to choose a top that's made out of a stretchy fabric, and then pin the bottom edge of the top up. Then set your sewing machine to the lowest stitch length and the lowest tension. You're going to use a zigzag stitch, and when you're sewing, make sure your needle falls off the end of the fabric. Also, you want to pull your fabric as much as possible. So use these methods and sew all the way around. Once you've finished, it will look something like this. And here's what it looks like on. Thank you for watching.
A girl sent me a ton of sweat.
Alright, this is a tutorial on how I crop a crew neck somewhat professionally. This is what it looked like before. I think it's too long, it makes it kind of awkward to wear. So first, you're going to try it on and measure out where you want to crop it to. Keep in mind that we will be adding the band back on at the end. And as you can see, it kind of curves down on the sides, so I kind of cut up at an angle to get rid of that, and I think it looks better that way. Once you're happy with it, we're going to go ahead and take the band off of the remaining fabric and pin it to the top. Sew it down with a long stitch and try it back on. Make sure you're happy with the length. And it should look like this. Next, we're going to top stitch it above and below the seam. And you're done. Pretty simple tutorial. Hopefully you did it right. Good luck. And let me know if you try it.
You have to start romanticizing your life. You have to start thinking of yourself as the main character. Because if you don't, life will continue to pass you by. And all the little things that make it so beautiful will continue to go unnoticed. So take a second and look around and realize that it's a blessing.
You guys kept asking me to tag you in the video, and there are literally so many of you, and the video wasn't even like how to make them, so I'm going to show you how to make them. These are from the men's section at Walmart, and they were only $10. This honestly works with like any men's pants, but like these ones were only $10, so I was like, heck yeah. Anyways, you're gonna sew the buttons on the inside, not the outside. I'm just showing you like where I did, but on the inside of the pants. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is me sewing. I'm not even gonna like try to explain how to sew because I can't for my life. You're gonna see that when I zoom in, but like literally, just like look up a YouTube on how to sew buttons because I just did it as many times as I could and prayed it would stay on. But yeah, look how bad that is. I'm so sorry to all you professional sewers out there. Like deeply from the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry. Anyways, next I'm gonna cut little slits on the sides where my fingers are. I have to explain that, otherwise I'm just caressing my pants. Anyways, yeah, it's not gonna go all the way through though because you're gonna thread an elastic through it. You're gonna cut the slits before I think you thread it through because I don't know. I just did that. Anyways, you're gonna use a safety pin to make it easier. Go it all the way around. You know.
A lot of you guys have been asking for a tutorial, so let's do it. You're going to need woven fabric, I like all silver details, strong magnets, and strong interfacing. Here are the patterns I'll be using. First I disassemble the garment, then I start drawing out my pattern. I do the same for the interfacing and cut it all. It should look like this. I mark where I'm going to apply my magnets, then I glue them in place and hold. I also cut the side interfacing. I then iron the fabric to the interfacing, check the structure, and press the seam allowance. Now it's time to sew. I sew all the pieces I didn't fold together. The zipper is next, and is the pocket for the lining. I use a special foot to make sure the stitches are nice and straight. Finishing the lining, I sew all the edges together and press it inside. I use the curved needle to sew the final parts of the purse, which are the sides, and sewing the lining of the actual purse. The last parts are sewing the straps to the bag, and there you go, you got a purse.
Before I make a tutorial on how to make your own bucket hat pattern, I'm going to show you how to do the slash and spread technique. This technique is really useful to know even if you don't want to make a bucket hat, as it's used to make so many other garments such as A-line skirts, things with puff sleeves and flares. But for this example we're going to use the brim of a bucket hat. So what you do is you get your pattern piece and you measure out equal sections, and you then cut these sections right to the very end without actually snipping through the paper. Once you've finished, it should look something like this. And now you've finished the slashing part of the tutorial, we're now on to the spreading, and I always find it easiest to tape one end down like so. So for the brim of a bucket hat, you want it to taper out quite a lot, so you do quite a big measurement in between each piece. So I'm doing 1 inch here, and you do that all the way around and tape it down as you go. When it's finished, it should look something like this, and you're then going to get a pen and draw around all of these gaps, making sure to even out any sharp edges. You can then take the paper off, cut round it neatly, and you've got yourself a pattern piece.